Hi, Islam Dwayne Arrington-Bey. It is January 21st, 2019.
Hmm? 21st.
21st, 2020. Excuse me. It's January the 30th, 2020. January 30th. Hi. Okay. I never got a chance to do my launch, so excuse me. I had to. Anyway, make a long story short, today was an okay day. I'm gonna make this quick. I had an interesting conversation. It wasn't that interesting, but I'll just say, usually Musa is a guy that works at Burger King. He's been working for Burger King maybe 2 months. He's considered new. He's from Senegal. You know, Abbas's father is from Senegal. His name Moss, and Abbas, my youngest son, father is from Senegal, and so I thought it was so interesting to see a new employee a month. He's been working there for about a month and a half there. But every time he comes in, he always speaks to me. He say, "Hi, Rhonda. Hi, Rhonda." You know, every time he comes in, I don't know if he speaks to everybody else, but he always make notice to speak to me. So I thought, I say thank you, Musa, for speaking to me. I know Senegal because I was married to Abbas's father, and I learned about Senegal. It's 98% Muslim, and they practice a form of Muslim, and it makes me think about, excuse me, it make today, as after I post the information about the United States Navy and Army, about some of them. It's odd because some of them will be out in the parking lot. I watched this one guy. He drives his black truck and has Army or a military license plate, and he would come in and he would earn money as I'm earning money at Burger King, and just like literally look at me or look like just sort of just glance my way or sort of look towards me. Not just him, but other black males that are connected to the military do this. So I notice sometimes they just sit in the car. They don't even come out. They don't even get out the car sometimes, and it's like, but in the meantime, but when they sit in the car, um, oddly my genitals are being attacked spiritually. Um, I'm experiencing different invasion of thoughts, um, impersonations of you, um, forced thoughts through telepathic thoughts. So this is what I experienced, and this is not just those. This is those that imply or are connected to the United States Navy and the Army, and this is what I and also maybe feeling like a spirit on me, like trying to like literally first my genitals are attacked like in a spiritual manner, like literally attacking my genitals or my anus, or then a spirit like a spirit will actually engage where I have to shine my light if I choose to. If I'm not studying myself and I just don't feel like just experience studying what my body will do while this spirit has forced mentally engaged, I'll shine my light and they'll dissipate the spirit. But sometimes I just humble myself so I could see what these spirits, these demonic experiments, can do if when they engage. Like for instance, I know because today I was really tired. You know, I woke up. I've been exercising. Miss Phyllis yesterday asked me to come in at 7. Today is the 30th. The schedule was up, but so she when CJ, the owner's son, put the schedule up, I didn't look at it at the time, but Miss Phyllis, I haven't even looked at it now either. I took a picture of it, but I haven't looked at it because Miss Phyllis she was like, "Can you come in tomorrow at 7?" I said, "Yeah, I can come in at 7, no problem." So I think it was this past Friday, I had to go by there and ask them to let them know that I needed to come in later on Monday because I had to go to the circuit courts to see what was going on because we're trying to get our corrected name change order done. So we need the name change that was approved to be corrected. So anyway, so after I went to the circuit court Friday on our holy day, because this is in reference to naturalization of Article 1, Section 8, Clause 4. You know, we're doing this so that we can correct our birth certificate, Dwayne Battlefield Bay. Because on my birth certificate, it still says Negro. So, and if Imani's birth certificate, even though it doesn't have the word Negro that's printed, but he is classified, he needs to classify himself as having a race of being Asiatic and not Negro. On my birth certificate, it actually says Negro. So I went there Friday to let them know after I went to the circuit court to see what I can do to get this done, because we are Moorish Americans implementing true naturalization, and you have to have a nationality to be naturalized. So Negro is not connected to any form of the human family or in reference to constitutional law. So that word Negro or that classification Negro on my birth certificate has to be removed, and the true identification needs to be amended to the birth certificate, if not completely demonstrated or incorporated in the birth certificate. So, or as an attachment. So that's what we're in the process of doing. So I went back by Burger King to let them know this. Anyway, make a long story short, I told them, I spoke to Carl, the owner, and James, the manager, and this was Friday, this past Friday. Today is the 30th, the day is Thursday, and I told them Monday I would be there at 12, no later than 12, because I have an emergency I need to take care of, and I figured, and it's 2 days notice, so that was Friday. They had Friday, Saturday, Sunday, so actually Friday night, Saturday, Sunday, to make sure, and they said it's no problem. So I got there at 11. I think I clocked in at 11:05. My schedule was at 10 to 4, if I remember correct. But I asked them if I could come in no later than 12 so I can get this taken care of. But I actually got there only an hour late, so that was later than that. And then Tuesday, what was it? So that was, okay, yes. So then Tuesday, I clocked in at about 10:05, and it was so slow. I have never left early. I heard Miss Phyllis speaking to one of the co-workers, Nikki, about leaving early. Nikki was saying something about she's not going to leave early because it was so slow, and I have not, that I remember, ever left early. I've been working at Burger King since 2016. I went ahead and said, I overheard them talking. I told Miss Phyllis, I said, Miss Phyllis, if it's okay, because other people have left early. I've never done it. That I can remember, and I've been there since 2016. I said, can I go ahead and leave early? She said, yes, you can leave now. I said, okay, thank you. But I needed to take rest and actually see what I was going to do. I need to recuperate because we are trying to get our corrected and our approved name change correction done, that was done by the circuit court, corrected, so that we can correct our birth certificate, because we are in a process of true naturalization as Moorish Americans, Hebrew Muslims. So we have a nationality, and this is in correlation to Article 1, Section 8, Clause 4 of the U.S.A. Constitution of 1787. You know, Dwayne Battlefield Bay, we affirm to uphold the Constitution of 1787, U.S.A. Constitution of 1787, Abraham Lincoln's proclamations, the 13th Amendment, 20 sections that is included in the U.S.A. Constitution of 1787, and all 4 of Abraham Lincoln's proclamations. So we have affirmed to do these, to uphold these divine laws and proclamations. So in that, our birth certificate needs to be corrected, because we are demonstrating ourselves as true American citizens and naturalized. So that's why we are trying to make sure that the court, see what we can do to get the our name order, our court order name change corrected, so that when we apply for this at the vital records, it shouldn't be an issue such as my birth certificate saying Negro, because I'm not an animal, I'm not a beast. Negro is not classified or identified being a part of the human family. I have a human soul. And so does Imani-Bey. I, Rhonda Arrington-Bey, have a human soul. We corrected our name by adding a hyphen in our ancestral name Bey. We corrected the Social Security card, our Maryland State ID. We filed our taxes this year with it. So now we are demonstrating we are true American citizens. We are not animals. We are not beasts. We are in the constitutional fold, but that birth certificate has to be corrected. So that's one of the things. When Miss Phyllis said you can go ahead and leave now, I said fine, because I have never left Burger King before early. So I came to work on Wednesday, and I didn't look at the schedule. I still haven't. But after CJ, the owner, hung it up, Miss Phyllis asked me like a little while. I didn't even look at the schedule, and I still haven't. Like I said, she said, "Can you come in tomorrow at 7?" I said, "Sure, no problem." So anyway, let me continue. So today, Musa, he's from Senegal. He's a new employee. And I just asked him the basic questions because every time he walks in, he's like, "Hi Rhonda, hi Rhonda, hi Rhonda." And I'm like, it's like I don't know if he goes out his way to say this to other employees, but he definitely go out this way to say that to me. And I noticed once again, going back to the United States Navy and Army, or those that apply, and they sitting out in their car, and I'm experiencing different spiritual and mental attacks that are odd, especially and I already told you about some that actually sit there for hours at a time that imply to be connected to the United States Navy and Army or the Marines. I don't know. I'm not accusing them. I'm just giving you a sequence of events, Dwayne Baffert Bey, of what I experienced. And not just that, but then you also, sometimes when I'm out, those that are understood as a black, Negro, African American, male and female, too, or whatever, these are unclean spirits, pale skin, or Spanish speaking. I experience these things because they are all in the United States jurisdiction, because these are behaviors and characteristics of those that are in the United States jurisdiction who are classified as animals and beasts. So I just had a short conversation with Musa. Just a short conversation. It wasn't nothing. I just asked him. I said, I told him, I said, my second name is Renee, Rhonda, but I was going to start saying Renee, but they said I got to use the first name. I just said, "You speak French?" He like, "Yes." And I just had, he was like, "Oh," and then we continued. And then to talk, excuse me, I hear an animal. I'm at American Extended Stay in Annapolis, Maryland, and I hear an animal, female, outside the door, talking. So sometimes dogs start barking. The dogs have the science of telepathy, and they usually are having sex with these dogs and doing unclean bestiality acts with these dogs. So anyway, so let me continue. So I just had a short conversation, and then I think it wasn't even I asked him, I said, "What's your tribe?" He looked at me like I was crazy. I said, "Do you have a tribe?" I said, "Wolof." He said, "Oh, that's my language." I said, "Oh, Wolof." I was like, okay. I didn't tell him about a bass. I didn't tell him that I was married to a guy from Senegal. I didn't say anything like that. I don't know Musa. And I know, once again, Senegal is approximately 98% Islamic country, or those that practice Islam. And too many times when I post things about the United States Navy or Army, on my tablet, the word Al-Qaeda comes up. Especially after one of the black Negro females or males, if they could either imply to be connected to them or not, try to communicate with me or engage with me. I can look at my tablet, and all of a sudden the word Al-Qaeda comes up. And I noticed that the cabs with these Middle Eastern drivers, when I'm walking, they start driving around more when I come outside the room here, or if I'm going back and forth to work. I see them in the green cabs or the yellow cabs, Middle Eastern cabs, driving around more so after I post information or experiences that I experienced in reference to the United States Navy and Army, males and females. Either behaving odd or in connection to mental force engagement. Imani-Bey, we both reject the science of telepathy. Is that right, Imani? Okay, so it's more Americans. We don't have the science of telepathy, so we're not able to send sharp pains to our joints, because this also happens when they're sitting out in the car. Um, uh, and I'm not accusing them, but this is I experience sharp pains in my chest, my joints, my cranium. Sometimes somebody might say, "Paid brother, break her down." You gotta break. I mean, I'm. I can't tell you how many times I've been out the way Baffle Bay in Negro African American males and females, especially the female, these unclean spirits. If I feel a sharp pain in my vagina, say break her down. Okay, and then the male will come like this, and if they try to say or have a conversation, I'm not engaging, then another pale skin might come close or walk behind me and start attacking my anus or my genitals. And the black Negro males over 30, 40 years old, 20 years old, walking around with a cell phone looking to see how I would react. And so what I was telling Imani, to make a long story short, once again, that's pretty much all I said to Musa. I brought him up because it makes me think about how many times because he is because he's a person that I had a conversation with. Because then I don't know anyone personally at Burger King. That's all. And I needed to say that. I don't know anyone personally at Burger King. I just had a general conversation with him, just like I had a general conversation with anyone. And I think he already told me he spoke French. But, since he spoke to me, I just went ahead and asked him again about speaking French. And it's important for me to say these things because of the community we are among in reference to not being, too many of them obviously are not in the constitutional fold. And if they're not in the constitutional fold, then they are vulnerable to be used as terrorists, weapons of mass destruction. So as my genitals are being attacked, usually that which the Negro black male, like I told you at American Extended Stay constantly we hear male with a black Negro accent and females talking outside and around the room, and that which speaks Spanish or pale skin, sometimes they say paid, a lot of times I love you, or attacking my genitals or invading my dreams, one of them is supposed to be, some of them say husband, that's her husband. I've heard that before. He loves her. Oh, he loved that girl. He loved her. Who are they talking about? Imani, do you know anyone personally here? I don't know anyone personally here. And know how we imply we want to get to know someone personally here. Some of them start saying she loves Imani. She loves Imani. She loves that boy. So they try to imply that there's a female stalking Imani. I've been celibate for over 9 years. I haven't had physical sex in over 9 years. Imani has never had physical sex, and we sleep light to maintain our covenant of Allah, so we don't, our genitals are not invaded spiritually or mentally while we're sleeping. But constantly there's Negro black males and females accents and Spanish accents speaking, or pale skin speaking outside and around the room, speaking about exactly what I just said, or say military, he loves you, brother, she loves that boy, she loves Imani, literally like animals, sound like animals. And we don't know anyone personally here in Annapolis, Maryland. So when I'm out, so I want to tell Imani so he can know how deadly and how unclean this species of black Negro females are first, because it's important. Because you would think, because some of them, they dress really nice, they drive in nice cars, they look decent, they wearing eyeliner, they look like just average African Americans, but that is what they're supposed to be demonstrating. But in the meanwhile, they are literally trying to get a woman so they can breed with their black bucks for their slave masters. So what they're doing is, in reference to what I've experienced, is if they try to engage, like saying hi or be my friend, and I'm not receptive, because if I'm friends with one of the black Negro species, that unclean spirit, then 9 times out of 10 she'll try to connect me with one of her black bucks, or not her black buck, but a black buck, a male, so that then therefore I will engage He will maybe manipulate my thoughts, try to seduce, whatever he can do, so he can breed. Or it could be her. A lot of the black Negro females are homosexuals. They're lesbians. So, but the thing is, this is their nature. This is a part of the animal society, and in that, if I indulge and feel that pleasure, I have denaturalized myself. So my paperwork might be okay. I might complete it, but in my thoughts, in my emotions, I can break my covenant to Allah and denaturalize myself in that manner. And that's why I was telling Imani. So these same women, or not women, excuse me, the species of black Negro female and males, they are truly deadly. These are unclean demonic spirits. Literally. I mean, some of them might be driving buses, they wear suits, driving nice cars, and they're looking to see if my genitals are being attacked, or they'll attack them themselves, especially when they black Negro, the bucks, do not have any form of engagement that's receptive in my eye. Or they'll start saying brother, and I start feeling a sharp pain on my back or my anus, or and they start saying break her down. So and then all the while someone might be saying Imani, or they'll start doing this. I've had black females look at me and do this, or like this. And that's in the black Negro male Islam. And they also have done that in reference to Imani. Like, because, he has not had sex, and I am practicing celibacy, Islam. So we are among some true animal beasts. And it's not just, like I said, those that drive suits, so you think older. These are young ones as well. I was telling Imani, some of the kids, they behave in that same manner, 9, 10 years old, in the same manner as the adults, literally as beasts. This is nothing extraordinary. They are not from no place far out, like, oh, look at them. These are experiments. That's why they're stalking. That's why they walking around with cell phones in their hands. Cell phones in their hands and mentally engaging. There's nothing special about them. They are Negro black slaves walking around with cell phones in their hands because they've been used to separate and to cause harm for a long time. Sometimes they start speaking about separation, and they'll send a telepathic message or speak of separating somebody from their son or their child. So today during Bathroom Bay, I felt this. I felt this thing called separation, this emotion. And I knew this was an induced emotion. It wasn't real. Like they send impersonating thoughts. They can replicate your thought, your voice that you hear yourself speak with in your mind, and then and replicate it. And you think that thought that you hear that sounds like you is your thought, but it's not. It's a replication. Okay. They also can send an emotion that makes you feel safe and warm and secure, like everything is okay. It's false. It's not real. Or they'll send an emotion. This is a download, like a computer. Sometimes, a lot of times, one of the black Negro males or Spanish, Mexicans, are because they are used to a lot, like as weapons of mass destruction. And the person with this, and they feel emotion of feeling okay, you're going to be okay, or another one, or feel like something's wrong, like separation, okay, like something's wrong with you, there's something horrible that's going to happen. Like someone could say, did you hear about that gunshot, that person that died? And all of a sudden you start feeling scared. So they can send us a emotion of fear. So the Mexican or Spanish speaking, a lot of them are used to do such things. I noticed that. I can't tell you how many times I've experienced this by them, and they don't mind showing you that they're doing it because they want to present themselves as slave masters. Look what we can do. And they are not experiments and slaves, but what they are terrorists that are used as weapons of mass destruction, spiritually, weapons of mass destruction, spiritually and mentally. Okay? and that's along with the pale skin as well. The pale skin is sly and sleek, trying to present, but they trying to also get access. They keep calling the black Negroes their brother. We are Americans, but they're not in a constitutional fold, and they trying to use the black Negro so they can have access to the mind. So if the black Negro male, if you amalgamate with that creature, that animal, or that female, then you start going into that sacred space. That those pale skin are just waiting with their whoever they're intertwined with, the Asian, whatever, the Middle Eastern, whatever, to also get access to your mind, so they can continue to denaturalize you and make you into a robot, something other than your higher self, Allah. These are not anything special. These are experiments. If they were so special, then why do they have to sit around and stalk natural divine beings like animals? If they were all killed or exterminated today, I was telling Imani, because their characteristic and their nature is to rape, murder, and molest. That's their nature. So if say they were all exterminated today, these unclean demonic spirits, the frequency rises on the earth. So that they are outside of natural law. So if they're outside of natural law, and if they were wiped out completely today, what does that tell you? If the frequency rise, that lets you know that natural law is in control, and they are outside of natural law, and we don't need it. We don't need it. They are succubus. We don't need them. Islam. And so that's what I've experienced. And I just wanted to give you that testimony. And I wanted Imani to hear the testimony, because he needed to know what these black Negro male and females do to his mom. Because a lot of them do it to me. They attack my genitals, send sharp pains, and then go around and start speaking about, looking at her son, because they want to breed one of their nasty, diseased kids with him, so they can further and please their slave master. They've been educated in psychology, sociology. They know mathematics. So they know how to navigate, but they are outside of natural law because they are unnatural. But they know how to be terrorists because they've been doing it for a long time, and they have specialized in separation of the home so they can slave breed. Not just them, but that which speaks Spanish as well. They're the same. Islam. It's January the 30th, 2020.